One of my new favorite logic puzzles to help pass the time while in quarantine / on the couch because of my torn ACL on today's ThinkShare. Hello and welcome to ThinkShare. My name's Zach, here to bring to have been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to, reading about that doesn't belong in math class. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. I have been playing this game called Kakuro. It is sort of a mix between sudoku and crossword puzzles. I wanted to share it with people because it's a great way to work your logical brain. While if you like puzzles I've found it quite addictive. Some of the harder puzzles that on first try took me like an hour and a half, I have now been able to do in about 10 minutes. So I wanted to show you an easy one. You can see I've done a bunch of these easy puzzles. First try it took me about 22 minutes. That's the longest it's taken me on the easy puzzles. And we're gonna pull up 25 right here. It'll be a little bit hard to show you what I'm looking at, but let's start up in this corner. So you got a 17 above it, and below it, and there's two spaces. So one of the facts of these types of puzzles is you can't, similar to Sudoku, is you can't have more than one of the same number. So what are two numbers that add up to 17? 8 and 9. So I know that this one and this one are both going to either be 8 or 9. So what I'm going to do is use the pencil. And if you look down at the bottom of the screen, I'm toggling between pencil and pen. Pencil is just for putting little notes to yourself. Pen is like, I know exactly what number this is. So I'm gonna put a little 8, 9 here, and I'm gonna put an 8, 9 here. So that reminds me, okay, it's either gonna be an 8 or a 9 in either of these two. All right, let's go over to this one. Now above it, there's a 16. So that means in that cell and in that cell, those two numbers are going to add up to 16. Oh, hi, Aspen. Hi. Mwah. I love you. You steal the show every time. Just above the pencil, there's the running clock, and right above that is column and row. So it's saying 8, 9, and 7, 9. Now, in the row, it needs to be an 8 or a 9 because if you look to the left there, there's also a 17 to the left of that cell I just selected. So this either has to be an 8 or 9, but because of the 16, it has to be a 7 or 9. So it actually can't be an 8. Therefore, it has to be a 9. So I'm going to switch to pen. I'm going to make it a 9. Now, if I know that that's 9, then I know this can't be 9 because I can't have two of the same numbers. So that's going to be an 8. And then if I know that that's an 8, then below that, that has to be a 9. Okay, let's continue. To the left of this 9, I see a 19. So that means this cell, and this cell are going to add up to 19. Now I've already solved for 9 of them. So these two are going to add up to 10. So if I look down there, it's either going to be, actually I can solve this one because of the 16 above it. So this was a 9, therefore this has to be I'm hoping on the other end you're thinking or saying 7. So actually there's 16 between these two, and the third one needs to add up to the 19th, so that's going to be a 3. Now you'll also notice down there row call at the bottom left just above the pencil, it will narrow things down as you pencil new things in. So let's go into this one. So there's a lot of stuff down there. You see just above the pencil, row says 1 2 8 9, 1 3 7 9, 1 4 6 9. That's a lot of stuff. And for the column, it's 1 2 3 4 or 6. You know what? I'm gonna do something that I wouldn't typically do, but just try to show you how you'd go about doing something if you're having a little bit of trouble. So I know it's 1 2 3 4 or 6. So I'm gonna put in with a pencil 1 2 3 4 or 6. Now there's already a 3 in that column, so I can get rid of the 3 just by clicking the 3 again. All right, I can't prove or disprove anything else in that column. So I'm gonna leave that as it is. Next one over here, I see a 3. So that means if there's two cells that are gonna add up to it, it has to be a 1 or a 2. So I'm gonna put 1 2, and right below it, 1 2. 17, another one from that we saw earlier, 8, 9, and below it, 8, 9. Now, what I typically do when I'm trying to solve these as fast as I can is I look for 17s, because I know it's going to be an 8, 9. I look for 16s, it's a 9, 7. 3s is going to be a 1, 2. And 4s is going to be a 1, 3. The reason I know these is because to add numbers up to 4 without using the same number twice, like 2 and 2, you'd have to use a 1 and a 3. So they're already narrowed down to just 2 numbers. So those are some of the shortcuts there. So there's another 16, so above it and below it, I'm going to put 9 and 7. 9, 7. 3 over here I see, 1, 2, and below it, 1, 2. There's also a 3 to the left of that one, so I'm going to put also a 1, 2 there. And I'm just going to try to fill in some of the easy ones first. So I see another 17, so I'm going to put 8, 9. 8, 9. Now, yeah, I'm going to keep with that strategy. 7, 9 down here, 7, 9 again. Every once in a while, you'll notice that there is only one option that you can do. Over here, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, what you'll notice with this one right here in the row, it says 2, 9, 3, 8, 4, 7, 5, 6. There is no 10. So I can't put a 1 because it would have to be 1 and a 10. Therefore, if I get rid of the 1, it has to be a 2. So I got a 2 there. If that's a 2, then next to it, it's going to have to be a 9 because 2 plus 9 is 11. Above that, it's going to be a 7. And if that's a 2, then that's a 1. Moving on. 1 plus 7 is 8. 11 minus 8, 3 left over. So there's always those little corners that sometimes you can get. Moving on. 17, 8, 9, below it, 8, 9. 17, 8, 9, 17, 8, 9, and to the right of it, 8, 9. There's a 4, I could do, whoops, 1, 3, 1, 3, 16, I got a 7, 9, 7, 9, 17 and 8, 9, 8, 9, 1, 2, whoops, 1, 2. I hope you're sort of getting to know. Feel free to leave in the comments any questions you get about what's going on here. So it looks like I've done all the easy 17s, 16s, 3s, and 4s. Moving on to the next thing. Now, let's look over here. So I got 2 cells that add up to 15. Now I know this one can only be an 8 or a 9. So what are the complementary numbers that go with 8 or 9 to add up to 15? So 8 plus what gives me 15? 7. And then 9 plus what gives me 15? 6. So I can put those 2 numbers in there. Let's see if I can do that somewhere else. Over here. Actually, same exact situation. So 15, 8 plus what gives me 15? 7. 9 plus what gives me 15? 6. Whoops. 7, 6. Where else can I do this? All right, that looks like that's all I can do for now for the easy ones. All right, now for slightly harder things. Let's go, I would say start with smaller, then go towards bigger. So this one, this row needs to add up to 12. If I look down there, there's a lot of combinations for rows, but column, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It's a lot in there, but that's okay. Here's something else I'm noticing. Above it, it says 1, 2, and way down here it says 1, 2. What that means is that can only be a 1 or a 2. That can only be a 1 or 2. This row has to have a 1 and a 2 in it. Therefore, you can't put a 1 or a 2 anywhere else in this, column. Therefore, I can get rid of the 1 and the 2 inside of that one. So a lot of times you're just trying to get rid of some of the numbers that are in the various boxes that you've already written down, trying to whittle them down until there's only one number left. All right, so that helps me out a little bit. Let's see, where else can I add in here? I'm gonna do this one over here. So my call, down there it says call 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. All right, there's a 3 above it, therefore I can get rid of the 3 because it can't show up twice. And that's all I got for right now. All right, let's look over here, the 35. So this one, I'm gonna do a new technique. So looking at column, it says 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But for row, I can only do a 6, 9, 7, or 8. There's no 5. So I'm gonna write down 5, 7, 8, 9 and skip out on the 5 because there's no 5 listed in the row. So 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, and to the side of it, I'm gonna look to see what now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now actually, if we note, so the column says 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, but for the row, it says it has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. So what's the only common number between those two? 6. So the row can't have a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, but it can have a 6. The column can't have a 9, a 7, or an 8, but it can have a 6. Therefore, that one is 6. Now if that's 6, go back to my pencil. I'm going to go to that one, get rid of the 6. Go to that one, get rid of the 6. Go to this one, get rid of the 6. Actually, I can just solve that one. 6 plus what gives me 15? 9. All right, now because I know that that's 9, then this one can't be 9. Therefore, it has to be an 8. If that's an 8, that has to be a 9. If that's a 9, that has to be an 8. All right, that did a bunch right there. Let's see, what else can I do in this area? All right, let's do this next one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I want you to notice in the row there, it says 1, 7, 8, 2, 6, 8, 3, 5, 8. There's no 9, so I'm going to get rid of the 9. And actually, there's already an 8. So here's another thing we can notice. So for this row here, it says 8, 9, 8, 9. So those two cells have to be an 8 or a 9. So those two cells are going to add up to 17. Now I have a third one, which I don't know what it is, but that whole row, all 3 of those have to be adding up to 22. So if those two make up 17 and the whole thing is 22, we can figure out what's left over for that one. So 22 minus 17 is 5. All right, so I can put that 5 in there, and those 8, 9 stay the same. I can get rid of the 5 in there. All right, so those are either 7 or 6. Here's another little thing I can do. Now looking over here at the 16, so let's say we're 16 plus, so let's say we're 8 plus 7 would be 15, and I would need the 1, okay? Let's say it's 8 plus 6 would be 14, and I would need a 2. There's no place for the 4 to go, so I can actually get rid of the 4. There's no number that could exist in here that I would need this to be a 4. So I can skip down to just 1, 2 there. Moving on. Let's go to some other empty ones. How about over here? All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 2, 3, 4, 6. Let's see, can I do anything? I can get rid of the 3 because of down here. Looks like it's about it for the moment. All right, over here. Remember, I know between these two that I can't have a 1 or a 2. So I'm going to do 3, 4, 6. moving on. All right, this one we use a slightly new technique. So this row needs to add up to 11. This is a 1, 3, 7, 9, and what's this one going to be? So if I look down at the row, it says 1, 2, 8, and that we already can tell that that's not going to be a possibility because there's no 2 and there's no 8 yet. So I can add in a new number in one of the cells, but not 2 of the cells. It could be a 1, 3, 7. So this could either be a 3, but it can't be a 7. So it could be 1, 3, 7. Oh, just kidding. There's no 3 yet over here. So can it be a 1? 1, 3, 7. Yeah, you can put in the 1. So I'm kind of testing to see of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, which of them can I actually put in? Let's see, can I put in a 2? 1, 2, 8, and or 2, 3, 6. Nope, not gonna work. Or 2, 4, 5. Nope. So I'm not gonna bother putting in a 2 because that's not gonna work with anything. All right, we already have a 3, so that's not going to work. How about a 4? Let's see. I'm looking at the row combinations with 4s in them. So I got a 1, 4, 6. So 1, 4, 6, not going to work. Or a 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5, not going to work. So I'm skipping the 4. All right, and the last one's 6. 1, 4, 6, nope. Or 2, 3, 6. 2, 3, 6. 6 can't go there. So 1 is the actual only option because we've gone through the combinations and the only one that can be put in there is a 1. That does a lot. Ready? Here comes a chain reaction. So there's that 1 right there. If that's a 1, then that's a 3. If that's a 3, that's a 1. If that's a 1, that's a 2. If that's a 2, that's a 1. If that's a 1, that's a 2. If that's a 2, that's a 1. Then there's a 2. All right, that did a lot right there. All right, I can get rid of my 1, 2 right there. So it's just a 4 or a 6. Let's see, does that solve anything else? Oh, so if it's a 1 and a 3, then this has to be a 7. If that's a 7, that's a 9. If that's a 9, that's an 8. That's a 9. That's an 8. That's a 9. 9 plus what gives me 15? 6. Therefore, that's a 7. 8 plus 7 is 15. And then one more is 16. If that's a 1, then these can't be 1s. So down to 2 or 4 over there. Is this chain reaction going for? Oh, I can solve that one. So in the row it says 1, 4, 8, 9. 1, 4, 8, 9. So that's the 4. Therefore, that's a 6. That's a 6. There's no 6 there. Let's see, these have to add to 12. All right, that still makes sense. Can't change that one yet. 2's gone. Can't change anything there just yet. All right, so it would appear that we're just a little bit stuck. So here's what we got to do. We got to dig in a little bit and just figure out there's probably 1 or 2 numbers I have written down that are not currently don't belong there. So let's double check this. 4, 3, 6. 4, 3, 6 makes sense for the column. Do we see a 4, a 3, and a 6 in that row? 4, 3. All right, I see those in and around there. Now there's a 2 in there. So there's your 2. So there's a 9. There's no 1 there. So it can't be a 1, 2, 9. Could it be a 2, 3, 7? 2, 3, 7, that could work. Could it be a 2, 4, 6? 2, 4, that can't work. So it's got to be a 2, 3, 7. And this will probably be the last one we have to figure out. 2, 3, 7, so that's a 9. If that's a 9, then that's an 8. If that's an 8, that's a 9. Let's see, if that together is 17, then I need 3 left to make it 20. Therefore, that's going to have to be a 1, and that's going to have to be a 2. And there's your 2. There's your 4. Back over here. All right, we might need one last idea. Oh, there's a 3 there. Therefore, that's a 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. Plus what is 18? 8, 9, and 9 plus what gives me 15? 6. So that took me 20 minutes, mostly because I was going very fast. I'll tell you what, here's an idea for you. I'm going to do another one as fast as I can. I'm going to let you pause the screen and I'll let you try to solve it. So here's the next one. So once you pause the screen, if you want to write down the numbers, actually, I don't know if there's a way I can have this as a shared file or something. I'll screenshot it. Let's see if I can maybe put something in the description so you can download it. Either way, this will be puzzle 26, and I'll put a link to the app if you want to try to solve it, and then you can check to see how I went about it. All right, I'm going to go as fast as I can. All right, so I realized that speaking out loud severely slows me down, so that one took me almost 5 minutes. So yeah, with practice, you get better at these. I find them really fun. If you like Sudoku, I think you'll really like this. Great way to practice building your logical mind if you are trying to exercise your brain and you want to get into something good for you. Heads up, it can be a little addictive. I'm going to show you a couple other things. So medium, when I first started, it took me like an hour, and I've whittled those times down to, looks like number 20 there I did in 5 minutes. One of them I did in 4.5. And then the hard ones, my very first one I did in 18 minutes because I must have gotten the hang of it. Looks like one of them I must have messed up and restarted. It took me an hour and a half. Recently I did one in 7.5 minutes. Challenging. First one I did was 26 minutes. One took over an hour. I did one recently in 10 minutes. And then extreme. First one took me an hour. Second took me an hour 17. Then I think it was yesterday I did one in 34 minutes, and then those unsolved ones I kept kind of messing up. So yeah, they get harder. You have to use more logic than I described in this video, but really great item. Feel free to ask questions, leave things in the comments. Hope this is valuable. I hope somebody finds and loves this. If you like this, leave a like. If you didn't like this, leave a dislike. Let me know in the comments what you didn't like about it, and or I was thinking I might share a couple other things. I've been playing a lot of Tetris lately. I'm just addicted. That's good for spatial reasoning for the engineers out there, for people that want to work in engineering. Tetris is actually really good for building spatial reasoning. Same reason that Legos are good for building spatial reasoning. Helps you see images and sees the negative of the images when you're trying to drop blocks, and improves your processing speed. I forget the other game that I play a lot. I played a lot more over the summer. It was similar to this Kakuro game, but yeah, I'll give you some more soon, especially if I get some positive feedback on a video like this, introducing you to something new. So thank you for watching. As always, keep meditating, stay mindful, stay weird, humans.